Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So it's currently Saturday, March 8th, 2025, and we have a long way to go before November 2026, but still, guys, it's always election season. We're talking about current events, that's true, but it's never too early to start talking about the midterms, and I wanted to make this video because Donald Trump made his first statement about a day ago about the 2026 midterms, talking about how the Democrats are in a lot of trouble because of how they're acting. And also, I wanted to touch base on some other metrics as well. What is Trump's approval rating? Is it stabilizing? What did the recent jobs report show? Is this a jobs report that shows possible hope for the economy? It's the first full Trump jobs report. There's some positive data. We're going to be getting to all of this and more, but first I wanted to start off with Trump's statement because the Democrats absolutely took an L this past week while Donald Trump was up there at the joint speech that he gave to Congress, basically a State of the Union. Technically, it's not a State of the Union until after the first year of a president's term, but still, he was able to address Congress for like 2 hours on end, gave a great speech. It was entertaining, it was well received, it was funny, and he was able to kind of, I guess you would say, throw some jabs in at the Democrats during the speech that were much better received, in part because of how the Democrats were behaving. Donald Trump seized that opportunity and gave a speech that was partisan in a very good way. And, there were some nonpartisan moments, obviously, and the Democrats made them partisan because they couldn't even stand up to cheer on families who had family members that were murdered by illegal aliens who entered the country during Biden's open border, or you had a 13-year-old kid with cancer, brain cancer to be specific, that was made an honorary Secret Service member. A lot of these Democrats, they couldn't stand up for that moment. They were sitting down, rolling their eyes. It was a really bad look for them. And the Republicans were just united in Congress behind Donald Trump, his agenda. And that is something that was a major optics win for Trump and the Republicans, just because, A, not only did Trump give a good speech, which is a win for him and an L for the Democrats, but also the way the Democrats behaved was a major L for them and a win for Trump. You could argue that that overshadowed the positive elements of Trump's speech, but it doesn't matter because it's still a win for Trump and a loss for them. So either way, it's a win-win. And Trump said the Democrats should lose the midterms based on their behavior at the joint address to Congress. All Republicans must use their behavior on men and women's sports, their very dangerous open border policy, high energy and taxes, and much else. And that's true. Trump wants to extend the tax cuts for the middle class. They already are in place for the upper income brackets. So it's a political layup to make sure that the Trump tax cuts don't expire. Also, you have the bipartisan support among the general public for things like no taxes on tips, etc. So if they're unwilling to pass through certain elements of Trump's agenda, it's not going to really look good for them. It's really not. And when it comes down to things like the open border, if they're voting against border wall funding, back in the day, the wall did not poll as well as it did now. And that's going to be a problem for them. Men and women's sports. John Fetterman decided to die on that hill for some reason, and he was seen as somebody who was like an electoral lock for 2028 just because he was playing his cards right. Now he's going all in on the transgender issue for some weird reason. It's not really good. It's not good for the Democrats. It's not a good look. Also, Trump said Republicans should utilize the footage provided on the total disrespect they showed to all those that were honored that night, including young ladies who were killed by illegal migrants, people with terminal cancer, etc. They didn't even have the common courtesy to stand, smile, or applaud. This could be, on analyzing the full tape of this historic event, your full campaign to victory. In other words, Republicans can take what happened last night and win any race in the country. Good luck. And it's true, because there's elements of Trump's agenda that are popular. And if Democrats want to win in the midterms, they're going to have to say, yeah, I support these elements of Trump's agenda. I voted for X, Y, and Z, but I, oppose these elements that might not poll as well with the general public. So regardless, it's not a good look for the Democrats. And there is a lot of reason to believe that Republicans have a golden opportunity to, because they're also at fault if they don't pass through Trump's agenda. They got to pass through Trump's agenda, get them the funding for mass deportations, etc. Make sure that all gets done, and make sure that they can get the country moving on the right track, work with Donald Trump to do that. And the Democrats, if they want to act like this, then why would anybody vote to change the status quo if the status quo is popular? Because you look at Donald Trump's approval rating, it's not the highest in the world, but he's a polarizing figure. The truth is that his highest approval rating during his first term before the midterms was like 46. He's already at 49. And he's gotten a lot of bad press, by the way, a lot of bad press, but it doesn't matter. He's still in the green. He's still in the positive. And if Donald Trump's approval rating, I don't know, come mid to late 2026 is anywhere near 49%, Republicans are probably not going to even lose the House at that point, because Democrats are in a lot of trouble, and we could do a whole video talking about that. You could watch my House prediction I did recently in the meantime, but they're already kind of maxed out in the House. They don't have a path to retake the Senate at all, and like their best case scenario for the governorships is like a net wash. So regardless of how you want to look at this, 2026 is not going to be a blue wave, no matter how you chalk it up, no matter even if Trump's approval rating is like in the low 40s, it's still not going to be able to be a blue wave. Maybe they could have a decent year, maybe win, I don't know, 10, 15 House seats, but that's not really a lot. It's really not. Their majority is not going to be all that big, nowhere even near their majority at the end of the 2018 midterms. So you want to look at the approval rating of Trump. It's still high despite all the press he's gotten. And we understand how these polls work. I think it's higher than 49. We polled it recently. We got him in the low 50s, but he's in the positive range for sure. He really is. And you want to talk about his approval rating. His first-term record approval, which was in March, right at the beginning of COVID, 47.1%. Currently, it's at 48.9%. And it's probably higher than that, to be fair. So you look at his current net approval rating, plus 1.4, may not be the highest, but his first-term record net approval rating was on the first day of his presidency at plus 0.1%. So the people that are saying it's over for Trump, he's going to be very unpopular, he doesn't know what he's doing, all these very, very misguided individuals, will be nice, misguided people, yeah, they're just detached from reality. And we got jobs numbers as well. And while you may say they're not like the best in the world, they're cutting a lot of jobs. They're cutting a lot of government jobs, which is a good thing. But you saw what happened. Native-born Americans gained more jobs for the first time in 15 months over people who were not native-born Americans. And you see this with the border crossings. It's true. We need mass deportations. But the people that are saying it would be no different if Kamala won on immigration, those people don't know their head from their rear end. Because you look at the fact that the crossings at the border, they're down like 90-some%. Trump just being there and having a president. They said, we needed a bill to change it. No, you needed a new president. The bill wouldn't have done anything. Biden enacted a lot of what was in that bill. Didn't really bring down crossings enough, more so than they already were going down. But also manufacturing jobs. You had 10,000 jobs in manufacturing over the past month under Trump during the tariff threats that were added. People said it doesn't work. Well, you saw 10,000 jobs that were added. You had 9,000 lost under Biden. Also, the auto industry is back with 9,000 new jobs in the auto industry. Michigan, a very key state, not just in 2024 and will be again in 2028, but in 2026, where you could have a very competitive governor's race. You could even argue the Republicans are favored if it's a three-way race, and a very competitive Senate race, which again, I think you could make the case that if Pete Buttigieg is the nominee, Republicans would be favored against him in the state of Michigan. But also you cut government jobs, which again, that's popular outside of the Beltway. So either way, there's hope for the economy. It's not like you could flip a switch and everything's going to be better. But within 1 month of, slashing some regulations, just having a little bit of a different policy, you're starting to see one of the more positive jobs reports that we've seen or had in quite some time for actual native-born Americans. Not talking about people who are non-citizens etc. Because, the jobs numbers have been great for them lately. Under the Biden administration, they were phenomenal, but not for the people that actually vote. And that's kind of what matters. You have to answer to your constituents. America first, buy American, hire American. That's Donald Trump's mantra. Those are all his slogans. And it's true. They're popular. They're wildly popular. And when it comes down to 2026, there's a prime opportunity for a potential red wave that Donald Trump himself is kind of forecasting. Because you look at the Senate map, and keep in mind the highlighted states are retirements. You have an opportunity in Michigan and Georgia for flips. You probably hold Maine, maybe even North Carolina. Who even knows who's going to run on the Democrat side? But Democrats don't even have a pathway to a 50-50 Senate, let alone an outright majority. They're basically playing damage control, so they might have a chance to retake the Senate before like 2030. And I don't think they're going to get there. I really don't. I think Collins is going to win in Maine. I don't think Golden's going to challenge her. I think Golden's going to go for governor. I think Republicans in the House can pick up that seat in the process. So you're going to see probably 2 more Republican seats in Ohio, or at least more favorably, more able for the Republicans to pick them up. On top of that, you have plenty of pickup opportunities for the Republicans given trends, just depending on how some of these elections go statewide, like California. They seriously want to run Kamala Harris for governor because maybe they say, okay, well, she'll possibly get the nomination if she runs for president. We'll just allow her to become governor so she doesn't run, and she'll probably win, but I don't think she'd win by much. She might win by like 12. That's not good for California. And then you're talking about 5-6 House seats just because of those down ballot effects not really looking too good for the Democrats in the state of California. I mean, it was even a problem for them in 2022 when Newsom won by like 18, 19 points. So there's that. And then you talk about the dam possibly breaking in a state like Nevada. You talk about the fact that, you might be able to hold your own in Michigan if Republicans are able to get their act together there, which it seems like they might have an opportunity to. And then you talk about, Ohio redrawing the map and how many pickup opportunities are there realistically for the Democrats? Not really all that many that you could just look at a Republican and say this guy's DOA because it's a Trump midterm. I don't think there's a single Republican or seat that you could point to and legitimately say that, but there's plenty of pickup opportunities. And obviously, I'm sure there's going to be some House seats Republicans are going to lose. Pennsylvania 7th, I think, is one of those, even though I think it could end up flipping back in 2028. In a presidential year. Just depends who runs, but the candidate quality we're seeing on the Democrat side, not all that great. And then you look at the governorships, there's opportunities here. Michigan's an opportunity. Tony Evers decided to make Wisconsin an opportunity by what he said about mothers being inseminated persons, whatever the hell that means. It seems like Republicans are going to hold a lot of seats. They'll pick up Kansas, possibly even Arizona, because Hobbs is not popular. So there's plenty of opportunities. I'm not saying Republicans are going to win all of those seats in the House, Senate, these governorships. But what I'm saying is I don't see a blue wave, but I see an opportunity. If this continues, if you see more economic growth, if Donald Trump's approval rating can stay, which has been stable for the past month or so, if it can stay like that, and he can keep taking victories and the Democrats can keep stepping on these third rails, then you know what? Yeah, I think you could see an asterisk midterm. You could see a Republican favorable year, and that would give Trump 2 more years of a trifecta, possibly even an expanded trifecta in both houses to get things done, which would be an absolute mandate and a brutal blow for the Democrats in the process. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.